What's happening, friends? Before we kick things off, we like to reward you for watching this broadcast. Get your very own Kingdom Report mug by leaving the phrase that pays in the comment section beneath this video on our YouTube channel. That's youtube.com/The Kingdom Report. After this live broadcast is over, you can leave the comment Mickey's Toontown. That's Mickey's Toontown in the comment section down below to get yourself entered to win your very own Kingdom Report mug. Yeah, between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time, in which to enter. Again, Mickey's Toontown is the phrase that pays. If you are the winner, we'll reach out to you after Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time to let you know that not only are you the winner, but we got a special mug coming your way. Hey, on today's show, Walt Disney World is reopening after Hurricane Ian. Disney After Hours is returning to the Orlando theme parks. A heartwarming Disneyland trip for a veteran goes viral, and we've got the clip for you. Epcot's Figment is getting a feature film. Did you know that? And the best experiences aboard the Disney Wish. Our own Gared Hassel is back this week to talk all about it, plus so much more. Kingdom Report Live starts right after this countdown.
Come to this happy place. Welcome.
Kicking things off with a live look outside at the Disneyland Resort. We love taking this live look via the HojoAnaheim.com Mattercam. And what do we see off in the distance? My goodness, it's Pixar Pier. Yes, it is. The Incredicoaster and the Carthay Circle Steeple. Look at those bats.
Spoopy.
Spoopy. Double P. Double P Spoopy. It's always a joy to see Halloween splendor at California Adventure Park, and it's always a joy to have you with us. Hey, everybody, it's Wade for a Kingdom Report Live, back with you once again, bringing all the latest Disney Parks news and information, all of the Disney Parks drama that you need to know about. Oh, yes, indeed. On a serious note, very thrilled to see that Central Florida was mostly spared in the most recent Hurricane Ian aftermath, and the chaos of what became a tropical depression, it sounds like, and then has re-strengthened once again. To everybody on the west coast of Florida, our thoughts are with you. Unbelievable images coming out of that side of the state, and certainly everybody is thinking of you during, no doubt, an extremely troubling, extremely difficult time. We here today are going to be discussing not only the news of the day, but also a variety of topics, hopefully to lift your spirits and get you feeling good about the magic once again. We are finally feeling some fall effects here in Southern California after a tremendous heat wave. So everybody heading out to the Disneyland Resort here in the next couple days get to experience very mild temperatures just before things heat up one more time. And here with me today to talk about all things Disney parks, well, by golly, it is terrifying Tyler Crouch, our theme park analyst, and Cuckoo Cachoo, Katrina Manzone, our travel agent.
Thank you.
That's a good one.
Thank you. I got to change that to my Twitter handle, Terrifying Tyler.
In past years, that's what you did, right?
I have done that actually. Yeah.
I do recall.
I feel like I did
stuck
that.
in my head.
Yeah, that needs to happen again.
It is October 1st, so
Yes.
it is needed.
Happy spooky days.
Oh.
I'm excited.
Happy
Feeling it.
anniversary, Epcot. Happy birthday.
happy
Celebrating
birthday,
Epcot.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, this is 35, but it's 40.
It's true.
This
we're
is from the last one.
probably the only people truly celebrating Epcot because Walt Disney World, outside of merchandise and food, as we talked about in recent broadcasts, not really doing very much.
Nope.
So,
No, it's kind of a bummer.
yeah.
And now they see that the merchandise makes people excited, and they're just going to keep doing the merchandise for perpetuity, and we're going to get no special celebrations ever again. So, thank you to everybody that bought a T-shirt today. You're doing the Lord's work. Love you.
Jesus.
To put a positive spin on things, there you go.
Sorry.
Yeah, they really had an opportunity. We talked about it in long form recently. They really had an opportunity in the D23 Expo to go all in on Epcot's 40th and to really go crazy. But it looks like they're just saving the chips for Disney 100 going into next year, rather than Epcot's 40. Unfortunately,
They're really doing the bare. I mean, you got some foods. That's also really cool. The
There
little
you
Figment
go.
roll.
Yeah,
That's great.
you're stuck on that Figment roll. I can tell you want it.
It's really cute. It's really adorable. Really cheap to make.
Yeah,
Make a lot of money.
Yeah.
But it's fun. It looks cool.
it does look cool.
If I could eat gluten, I'd probably try it.
Yeah.
It looks like a lot of cream. I've seen they're not consistent. I've seen a lot of pictures and the cream inside is very different from other pictures. So I don't want the one with a lot of cream in it.
Yeah. I'm all about consistent cream. That's what I.
Consistency throughout, people, but also Figment didn't get dressed up in the ride for the 40th. I just wanted to point that out to everybody.
Can we talk about?
If you saw my Twitter this morning, I was asking, and so someone was able to take a picture for me inside the ride. Didn't do it.
Oversight
Missed
of the
opportunity.
century. That's for sure.
The worst.
Yeah.
You know who wouldn't, who would not ignore such an event like this? Former Disney CEO Michael Eisner.
Ooh.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yeah.
There he is. Known for his hellos and welcoming you to the Disney.
I felt helloed.
Did you feel welcomed?
Yeah.
Yes, I felt very welcomed. Yes, it was a great time.
Hello?
Oh,
Michael?
Michael,
Michael, is that?
is that you? Come back.
Known for his welcomes to the Disney Sunday night movie. Michael Eisner lives on in our hearts.
He sure does. Well, we didn't know what we had till we didn't have it anymore. You know.
It's true. We miss him.
Yeah.
He is still alive. I'd like to make that point.
No, I just mean he's not with the company. That's no.
Yes.
No,
Wait,
he's
we're talking about him like
completely
he's
fine.
passed on or something. He's still around, but we do
According
miss
to
him.
Disney, he's dead.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he's been scrubbed from existence. Bob Iger had a lot to do with that. So, at any rate,
Hello?
Oh, you got
Oh,
you
Michael.
broke Wade. You broke Wade.
it's awful. Tears.
Oh man.
Okay.
Pull it together. We got a show to do. It's all
Lots of
good.
news from this past week. Lots of stories to get to. It's time for the Disney News Review. Disney News Review time. Taking a look at some of the biggest stories from the past week across the Walt Disney Company. And the Walt Disney World Resort has begun its phased reopening process of resort property following Hurricane Ian. Now, certainly a lot has happened in the state of Florida over the course of the last week, including a Walt Disney World shutdown over the week as well. Universal even getting some real damage, it looks like. Fortunately, Walt Disney World did not suffer too much in terms of any sort of structural damage, which is great news. However, while the theme parks have reopened, we do have a couple of notable things to mention to you. And that is that the following locations will remain temporarily closed according to Walt Disney World. Disney's Fort Wilderness Resort and Campground, the Treehouse Villas at Disney Saratoga Springs Resort and Spa, Disney's Blizzard Beach Water Park, Disney's Typhoon Lagoon Water Park, and the Winter Summerland Mini mini golf course, that is. These, of course, as Click Orlando reports, are going to be closed for the foreseeable future, whereas there has been one update. Typhoon Lagoon Water Park has reopened, or will, I should say here in the future, reopen Sunday, October the 2nd, depending on when you're watching this broadcast. They say partially used multi-day theme park tickets with a validity window impacted by closure due to Hurricane Ian will be automatically extended to allow use of remaining unused ticket days through September the 30th, 2023. Hurricane Ian brought flooding and damage to Central Florida as the storm moved through the area as a Category 1. And Katrina, Central Florida was much more fortunate than the state's west coast in terms of impact and damage. I guess, what would you say to someone who might have a Walt Disney World trip scheduled in the next 2 weeks and perhaps might be considering a trip cancellation at this point?
I hope you have trip insurance. For one, that's really important to have, especially if you're trying to cancel 2 weeks before, because I guess it's like flights, right? That's
Sure.
like the worst. Like with hotels and stuff, you can probably cancel if you did a booking that was like a ticket hotel reservation booking. It's like kind of like too late to cancel, like with penalties and whatnot. But honestly, the worst is over. I can't imagine having like another hurricane in the next 2 weeks because that would be horrible. But I would say honestly, like I wouldn't be too scared going in the next 2 weeks. I mean, Disney does its best to make it look like nothing ever happened. I mean, Tyler and I went like years ago, like 4 or 5 years ago after that last hurricane that happened. And we did it maybe like a week after, and you couldn't even tell anything happened.
There was only a couple things, yeah.
You could see in like Jungle Cruise,
Yeah.
there's like a couple things down, and like it's like a little bit bare, you know. But other than that, I mean, honestly, the safest place to be is at Disney World. They have like their own, like it's their own city, so they have like their own like fire station. They have their own electricity. They have generator backups. That's why they always have like local Florida people come and stay at their hotels because it's like honestly safer. But I mean, if you're a person that, I don't know, it's hard to say. Cause I mean, if you're a person that can't handle 2 days not going to a theme park and feeling like you're missing out and stuff, then yeah, maybe if you can cancel, but I wouldn't have an issue with it at the moment.
And certainly all of those buildings are fortified to withstand mega hurricanes even. And so you're right, one of the safest places that you can be is at the Walt Disney World Resort. I know that 2019, I guess, there was a... I'm trying to remember what hurricane that was. There's been so many over the course of time. I was there in 2019 during a September hurricane. I believe... Gared, you came to visit on that trip. Gared Hassel also had stopped by, I think, and saw like the setup that we had going on at our resort. And they had hurricane ride-out meal kits that they had prepared for everybody.
Yeah.
And like Disney, they do this.
They do it well.
Yeah.
They're
They
ready.
do this a time or two, and so they're prepared, they're ready, they know what they're doing.
It was cool to see on this time too with Ian that they had like different resorts offer pretty cheap buffets, like especially at restaurants that would normally not offer buffets. Like at Gran Destino upstairs at Toledo, they had like a $20 buffet, which I think Toledo is usually a very expensive restaurant, I feel like. So it's cool to see them, offering as much as they can to the people that are stuck in their hotels.
That and like having the characters come out and offering this like one-on-one type thing just to like get the kids involved, because honestly, like we've seen that picture surface around of like children just watching a cartoon, but then there was characters like Chip and Dale, and Max was there. And like, I don't know who it was, Chip or Dale, because you can't really see who it is, was holding like a child, and it was like the cutest, most heartwarming thing. And those kids will never remember this hurricane ever, unless their parents probably remind them. All they're going to remember is having that one-on-one time with a character. The parents will remember, and the parents will be mad like that they missed out on 2 days and stuff, but at least you get to be in your room and get your room's worth. I don't know. I mean, it is a bummer, but again, it's, it was 2 days out of a week, and I understand that people like lost a lot of money for it, like going like missing out on like their ticket, and they may not be able to like use the ticket and stuff. But I mean, if you do have trip insurance and you were out there, you probably could try to like push for reimbursement or something for that kind of issue. But I think they did a good job. They always have a great plan B
Yep.
for hurricanes and stuff, and they try to make it as magical as possible. I think
Absolutely.
They did a great job.
Yeah, an outstanding response and cleanup. And yeah, I recall during Hurricane Sandy that shortly after, and it was it just sounded like a bad storm outside. It didn't really feel like much to me, but I happened to be there in the middle of one. And
Scary.
then directly following, yeah, because you never really know what it can bring, right?
No.
And so I was, of course, nervous, but we never lost power or anything like that. We were very fortunate. I saw some flickering a couple of times, but that was it. And then I believe it was the very next morning. I was on one of the Disney buses back to one of the theme parks and saw work crews all over the roadways across Disney World property that were cleaning and clearing, brush and things that had fallen and stuff. They're right on top of it. So Disney World as a property always does a stellar job.
Couldn't even tell the next morning. Like you saw pictures of people going into not the next day, but like 2 days later, like when everything was kind of safe to kind of go move around. But like the night before, and then everybody shows up like to Disney World, like to Magic Kingdom or Epcot and stuff. You couldn't even tell. Like they cleared that ground so quickly, and that was probably like a nightmare of like brush and stuff. And
sure.
It was just you couldn't even tell. And that's what Disney does best, right?
Kudos to the cast members. Kudos.
Yes.
to
They
the
worked really hard.
teams. Bravo.
100%.
Yeah.
Moving along now, our friends at Walt Disney World have another After Hours event coming your way. In fact, our Disney Parks blog writers have shared that Disney After Hours events will return to Walt Disney World Resort starting January 2023. These fan favorite experiences, as they call them, are scheduled to kick off January the 4th at Disney's Hollywood Studios and January 9th at Magic Kingdom Park. They offer an incredible way to experience even more Disney magic during the last months of the world's most magical celebration honoring the Walt Disney World 50th anniversary. Well, it's nice to know that they care about it now. In case you aren't familiar with Disney After Hours, they write, these late-night separately ticketed events let you enjoy a Walt Disney World theme park for 3 additional hours after regular park hours, with treats such as ice cream, popcorn, and select beverages included. Best of all, the number of tickets for these events is limited, which means lower wait times for some of your favorite attractions at Magic Kingdom Park. This means you can enjoy more than 20 popular attractions, such as Haunted Mansion, Jungle Cruise, Pirates of the Caribbean, Space Mountain, Seven Dwarfs Mine Train. And at Disney's Hollywood Studios, you can pilot the Millennium Falcon.
Oh my gosh.
What a
Sign
sell
me up.
point, yeah?
Sounds great.
Ride through a
Sounds really good.
Easy boy. Ride through a zany cartoon adventure in Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Shrink to the size of a toy in Toy Story Land, and so much more. They really know how to sell it. With Disney After Hours tickets, you can enter the park where the event is taking place as early as 7 p.m., giving you the opportunity to get a jump on the fun. Disney After Hours admission is a separately priced ticket, not included with regular daytime park admission. Tyler, with these separate special event tickets costing between $129 to $159 per person, share with us some of the reasons why it might be worth the added expense and some reasons why it might not be worth it. We know that these events are, we'll say, contested by a certain segment of the Disney park-going population,
Sure.
and other people tend to love it.
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, did they mention if Rise of the Resistance is going to be open?
No, just Millennium Falcon.
So it makes me think that it won't be open, honestly.
Yeah.
So that's kind of a bummer.
Yeah,
but
why would you mention the B ride over the A ride, right?
Yeah, well, because I know that like Rise of the Resistance requires a lot of maintenance, and I know that ride has to go to bed at a certain time, so who knows if it'll be
Maybe,
available.
right.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I think that like the main reasons to do it are obviously for less crowds. I mean, come on, it's like you can show up. There's going to be a lot less people there. If you're somebody that likes to take pictures, it's going to be very easy to take pictures. You're going to get to see a lot of things, a lot of sight lines and stuff that you normally wouldn't get to see with such a crowd at the place. And as well, like Wade said earlier, like the lines usually are going to be shorter, so that's a good thing to think about. Is that going to be an important thing for you? Are you going to want to do like a 3-hour ride rush? That sounds like it could be of value. On the other hand, are you spending more money doing the after hours thing if you already have a daytime ticket and you can get a Genie Plus and you can get a Lightning Lane, and will that cost you less money than actually paying for these after hours events? So I think if you're into photography, if you want to see the place looking beautiful without a lot of people around, you want some shorter lines, I think that's some good reasons to do it. And also it'll be cooler out because God, we know what Florida's like most days. But I mean, as far as like negatives go, like it's a very expensive ticket, and if you already have like an annual pass, or if you've bought like a hotel package or something like that, it might not necessarily be worth it for you. And like I said, with the Genie Plus and things, it's debatable. If Rise of the Resistance is closed at Hollywood Studios, I would say that's a bad value.
Yeah.
Oh, 100%.
That's like, don't do that.
Unless you really, really love writing Smuggler's Run and just going on Tower of Terror over and over and over again.
Yeah, I mean, there are some great rides at Hollywood Studios, but again, if we think about the value you're getting with Genie Plus and Lightning Lane and stuff, like with the price of these tickets, $129 to $159 per person, let's be real, you can save money by doing Lightning Lane at that point. So it's, you got to kind of weigh it out. Do you want to go and see the Chinese theater without anybody in front of it? Because if you want to see that, sure, go ahead and do it. Do you want to walk through Galaxy's Edge and not be dodging around crowds the entire time? Then sure, go ahead. Like, I wonder if Oga's Cantina is going to be open. I wonder if like Baseline is going to be open, because
Baseline would definitely be open.
Yeah, I could see that being a lot of fun for a few hours, but without Rise of the Resistance, that's the crown jewel at the park.
You got that right.
And I don't know. The Magic Kingdom one just sounds so much more
better.
Sounds a lot better.
Yeah,
like
worth your while, that's for sure. Yeah. And especially with like the drinks, you get like drinks and like ice cream things for free. So I mean, if you can chow down on like 20 Mickey bars throughout the night and like 15, 20 soda water things, you made your money back.
Popcorn galore.
Oh yeah, that's right. So yeah, you I don't think Powerade's in the mix on this one, so that is like, I think that one of the no-nos, because we've done one before, and it was actually really fun at Magic Kingdom because we got to see like the Kiss Goodnight, and not a lot of people get to see that, and so that was like it was like really, really great to see. And then having like water and like ice cream bar, like I don't feel guilty by not eating all of it. I just eat like a little bit and then throw it away.
But we walked on to Space Mountain,
and everything was like walk on. It was really, really nice, but I mean, but that's like Magic Kingdom, right? Hollywood Studios, I don't get this. I would never do this for Hollywood Studios.
I don't think Indiana Jones is going to be killing Nazis on the after hours, but I don't know what, like, that's the weird thing to me is Hollywood Studios doesn't seem to offer that much.
I mean, Hollywood Studios is like a 3-hour park if you can get everything done. So if you don't want to do Hollywood Studios one day and just do this, and then you're able to get some popcorn, ice cream and stuff, maybe you do that, and then you try to get into Rise of the Resistance like right before this thing starts. Maybe it would be worth it.
Yeah, I that's a great point, actually, of like, it's not the biggest park. Don't spend an entire day doing Hollywood Studios. Maybe this is actually the way to do it.
Yeah, so grab some dinner over at Brown Derby maybe before, because you get in before the part, like before the thing starts.
Rolling at 7:00 for dinner, right?
Yep, rolling for 7. Go into Rise of the Resistance before it shuts down for the night, and then it kind of like follows through, and then you can do everything else in like an hour.
Yeah, it's a small footprint of a park, that's for sure. And yeah, if you're not going to have Rise of the Resistance,
are they going to do Phantasmic? Because that'd be cool too.
Probably not.
Oh,
no, I wouldn't think
I can't imagine for for an after.
There's not even a nighttime show. Period.
Not thrown in.
Okay.
Yeah. And if Rise isn't a part of it, because they didn't clarify, and there's only so much information so far that they've released, if it's not a part of it, it might not be worth it. That's a great point, and hopefully it will be, and we will all be surprised in a positive direction. That's for sure. Figment, Epcot's lovable purple dragon, is about to get his own feature film. Have you heard about this? Yeah, Deadline reports that a Disney film is in the works featuring the character Figment, a small purple dragon who serves as the mascot of Epcot's Imagination Pavilion in Orlando. The feature hails from Seth Rogen's Point Grey company with Pokemon Detective Pikachu's Dan Hernandez and Benji Samit set to write it. Deadline has learned this as of this past week. Figment was created by Walt Disney Imagineers Tony Baxter and Steve Kirk, among other collaborators, in 1983, and the same year it made its debut in the Epcot ride Journey into Imagination. Figment is the embodiment of the imagining process, figment of your imagination. Say all that 3 times fast. And Katrina, we've seen films inspire already existing theme park rides before. What sort of hope do you have that this movie might do the same for an Epcot ride in need of a lot of attention?
Let's think about this for a second. Just give me a second. I don't think it's going to do anything. I think like they've done a lot of remakes like Jungle Cruise, Pirates, and like they did. I mean, Haunted Mansion already existed, and they made the movie off of it, and they never modified it or anything. I think Pirates was the only one that they really thought nothing of it when they made the movie, and it turned out to be like a huge blockbuster film, and that's why they started bringing in like a little revamp and putting Jack Sparrow into the ride. They're not going to do it with Figment. I don't think so.
You don't
like for how cheap everything is going in so far, I really don't think it's going to happen. And it's probably going to be like on a Disney Plus type thing. I can't imagine them. It's going to turn out to be like a blockbuster
Straight
hit.
to streaming, huh?
I mean,
It has to be.
I can't imagine unless like Seth Rogen like really puts forward and like
Yeah.
and then does his thing and like, I mean, we all know Seth Rogen. I can't imagine like him doing a little smoky poo and then Figment pops out or something kind of thing. That's like the first thing I thought of.
Super bad with Figment, right?
Imaginations do get a little wild when you have a
gets
little
crazy.
bit of, persuasion, if you know what I mean.
Maybe they'll name one a Figment. But anyway, I digress. I hope it would be really cool if they were able to like just gut that whole ride and then build a new one.
That's what they should
do. But they really need to actually like make a good movie and then like fight for it, because Disney's gonna like put the hammer down and say no, we're gonna cut like the budget on this and this and this and this, and that's probably gonna be like a cut and go direct to streaming, and they're gonna make it cheesy and probably really stupid.
I feel like they're doing all the cheapest things possible to the Figment name instead of actually just updating the ride like they really should.
Everything around Figment.
They're like, hey, a new Figment meet and greet. Hey, we're making a Figment movie. Hey, we made a Figment cake. Like, it's just like, guys, you're doing everything possible except updating the ride. Just update the ride.
They update the sweater every now and then.
Yeah.
Maybe it's all
Christmas, and that's it, but not for the 40th.
True.
I don't know.
Maybe it's all leading that direction. I mean, maybe this is a slow burn to see the reaction to more and more Figment infused
Slow
in things.
burn, like someone's going to light it on fire, so they have to do something with it.
I mean, it could be, but if you think about, like, Katrina mentioned Pirates of the Caribbean, like, that was, like, a mega hit. Like, that was the reason they updated the ride. Like, if that wasn't a mega hit, just like Haunted Mansion, was a flop, they didn't do anything to Haunted Mansion after the movie. They're not doing anything to Jungle Cruise. I mean, they changed Jungle Cruise because of the racial connotations. They didn't change it because of the movie. Mm-hmm. I don't think they're going to do anything to the ride. I wish they would. Someday they'll have to do something to it, but especially if this movie starts doing pretty well on Disney Plus, where it's definitely going to be, I'll bet money on that. They don't want to close the ride while the popularity is better than it was, so I just can't imagine them. But I kind of have high hopes for this movie. Like, think about Chip and Dale,
Sure.
Like that was
was
I mean, I know
cute.
Seth Rogen wasn't like one of the main, I mean, he was in that movie, but he wasn't like one of the main guys. And then also when you think about Detective Pikachu, that was kind of a lot like Chip and Dale in a way, but in the Pokemon universe rather than a cartoon universe, because it was very much like, oh, what if Pokemon just like lived among us? And it was kind of a silly movie in that kind of Chip and Dale way, where they felt like they were breaking the fourth wall in a certain way. So I think they're probably going to do the same thing with Figment, where it's going to be kind of a interesting approach to it. I'm curious to see. I'm excited.
Going to get Eric Idle as the star and have him running till his dying
Sure.
day, like have that be the story, right? Have
I
him
love
running
that.
to the dying day where he sees this dragon but nobody else does.
I love that.
I just
and
want
then
him to quote the Twitter.
and then in the that too. And then at the end he's going to be the moon.
Oh my
Perfect.
gosh.
Yeah.
That's like the best movie
It
ever.
writes itself.
Put a bow on it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
But
we're
I
done.
think it's going to be very self-aware, like Chippendale was. Rescue Rangers.
I think they're not
whatever.
going to take it seriously. Like, I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like that's the type of like they saw the Chippendale format and they didn't take it seriously. They had a lot of like grown-up kind of connotations in that film too that like adults could pick up on too. So I hope Figment does that.
That would be nice. Grown up connotations.
Hopefully they use their imagination. Finger guns. Thank you. Thank
So-
you. Gared's with me. I love Gared. Tony's with me. Come on, everybody. Let's go.
Wow. I think one of the biggest missteps of the film franchise's inspiring attractions that never occurred was just having an Eddie Murphy type character running from hallway to hallway in the Haunted Mansion, screaming the whole time, like he did in the film. It really would have put, I think, the attraction experience really over the top for an attraction that could have, most definitely, being the Haunted Mansion, right? Haunted Mansion always can be elevated. I mean, it's one of the worst rides in existence.
It's
I think
true,
we all
yeah.
agree. And so having Eddie Murphy or a caricature of Eddie Murphy, animatronics screaming in every hallway that you go to would
wouldn't
only
love
just
this?
put it over the top for me.
Yeah.
So
That I want, and put Jennifer Tilly in that ride. Let's go.
excellent. Oh my gosh. And while we're at it, let's do a crossover. Get Chucky in there. And
Oh yeah, sure,
my
yeah,
God.
okay.
Excellent.
Let's go.
We'll find some theming and oh my. Imagine what we could do at the helm. You know who would listen to an idea like this? Michael Eisner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Yep.
Hello? 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 Hello?
Hey, Michael.
Wow. Words of wisdom from Michael. Love it.
We miss you, buddy. You let us know in the comment section. Are you somebody looking forward to the Figment film? And what do you think it's going to be about? Is this going to be a more playing to the breaking of the fourth wall, more mature theme, or is this going to be strictly for kids? Seth Rogen being involved kind of tells me it might be a little bit more adults, but we will certainly see. All right, friends. A wonderful, heartwarming video went viral this past week regarding a veteran and a TikToker that took the time to get to know him. I'm going to play this video for you in its entirety so you can get an idea as to exactly what the world has been raving about, and it'll hit you right in the feels.
Hey, how you doing?
How you doing?
Oh, not too bad. How are you doing?
I'm sorry to bother you. I've had a really, really rough day. I just wanted to see if you'd be willing to go to Disneyland with me today.
Hey, that's great. You really want to take me? My gosh, I can't believe this.
I was lying on the grass of Sunday morning of last week. I know that it's up for me. Making sure I'm not in too deep.
How does it feel to be at Disneyland today?
Oh my God, this is one of the best days of my life. I feel like I might be dreaming or something. I thought my life was over. I'll remember this day for a long time. You don't know how much I appreciate this. You really, you don't know.
A truly heartwarming video, an amazing TikTok that, as mentioned, has gone viral. KTLA reports that Isaiah Garza, the influencer seen there who boasts more than 7.7 million followers on TikTok, notes he was once homeless and now changing lives in his bio. Recently, one of those lives was the man that you saw in that video, 97-year-old veteran William Good, whom Garza took on a surprise trip to Disneyland. The video documenting their journey racked up more than 16 million views by this past Wednesday night. The pair ate their treats, rode the attractions, and generally had a great time. Good, the veteran said, "I will remember this day for a long time." Choking back emotion, he said, "You don't know how much I appreciate this. You really don't know." And the 97-year-old Good is cared for by an assisted living nurse and mentioned in an interview this week that his family never calls or comes to see him. So to have a complete stranger do something like this for him, it meant everything. He said of the TikToker, "I just want to tell him that I love him. He's been good to me. He's been so good. I just can't believe this guy. An amazing video that has swept so many phones by storm for folks that have the app, and certainly it's getting a lot of play in local media here in Southern California. I know it's been replayed across the country. Katrina, your reactions to this very heartwarming video coming out of Disneyland.
Oh my gosh. When I watched it, I was like in tears. I'm in tears again. Like, that's so sad. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, if I was able to have my grandparents here and alive, like I would love to take them to Disneyland and see their reactions and everything. And then it really makes you get sad. Like, I mean, love your grandparents, like ask them, like, and just be with them, call them. It's just like, it's really heartwarming that I'm curious how he found the man, Mr. Good on, and then was he just like strolling and then he just like really approached him, or did or did he get some kind of tip to do this? But it's just so heartwarming to see his face of like just pure bliss in Disneyland, you know?
Makes a big difference. And, I think also reminds you that you never know how much time you have with the people that you love. And you never know how much time you have for those whose time might be running out until you spend it on them. And certainly these are strangers, right? And I think that's why the story is making so much traction. It's because they didn't know each other. And, Mr. Good being the veteran and, even saying in the video, I thought my life was over at this point. I mean, that's incredible. It's such an incredible story, and now they're thick as thieves and best friends, and they said they're going to be spending a lot more time together.
Good.
And hanging out all the time, especially because...
Screw his family. They're stupid.
Especially because, Mr. Good only has a caretaker. There's nobody apparently in his life right now that is looking after him from a family orientation. Tyler, you've seen the video. Your thoughts?
I mean, it's a great thing. I think that he obviously had an amazing time. He was tearing up at the end, and I didn't know all these side things about his family and things. So, you know what? The pessimist in me wanted to say, like, can't we just be nice to each other without putting it on TikTok? But the good outweighs the bad here, like, by far. So I know that people are looking for clout. I mean, listen, I guess I'm being, we're doing a show here, so it's not
hypocrite.
No, yeah, it's not like I'm like, following my own advice, but it's just, it's a beautiful moment. I'm glad that this man had a fantastic day. It's sad to hear the things about his life, but if he served our country, he deserves to have a great life all up and down it, not just for his first 90 years, but for the last part of his life as well. So it really is beautiful. I think it was a great thing overall. So
I love that it potentially will inspire more acts like this. And
I hope so.
Yeah, certainly, for all of and we know, especially in this space and the Disney Parks niche, we know that there are a lot of influencers, a lot of people out there in the social media spectrum who ruin a lot for everybody else, and who destroy a lot for everybody else, and have attitudes and expectations and treat others poorly. We understand that exists. We understand that those people are out there. So I think when we come across videos like this, when we come across creators like this who sort of use their platform for good and certainly hit the jackpot when it comes to the individual involved that absolutely needed that pick-me-up, it's wonderful to see. Have you seen the video? Are you a fan of what you've encountered with Mr. Good and Isaiah? We would love to hear from you. Let us know in the comments. All right, friends, you stick around. There's a lot more Kano Report Live for you next. Remember those carefree days of childhood where the magic still existed? When you didn't feel guilty about eating mountains of cereal with, we'll just say, questionable nutrition? Well, now you can have your cereal and you can eat it too. Because Magic Spoon has re-engineered that same great taste with grown-up ingredients for an absolutely game-changing cereal 2.0. I adore cereal. I treasure cereal. It's one of my favorite things to eat, but I just can't justify eating mounds of sugar in every bowl. I don't need to worry about that with Magic Spoon, because it's high protein, low carb, and 0 grams of sugar in each serving. I know, it's hard to believe, but it also comes in 6 delicious flavors: frosted, fruity, cocoa, cinnamon, blueberry, and peanut butter. Plus, they've got limited edition flavors released throughout the year, like gingerbread or peaches and cream. So taste that magic of childhood all over again and get yourself some Magic Spoon cereal. Plus, take $5 off your order at checkout. All you got to do is insert the promo code Kingdom Team. That's right, Kingdom Team at checkout will get you $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com. That's magicspoon.com. Promo code Kingdom Team. Time for the Disney List, where we take a look at some of the best across the Walt Disney Company and itemize it for you to hear about. This week, it's all about the Disney Cruise Line's newest cruise ship, the Disney Wish. In fact, our fair and fearless Kingdom Report Live reporter, Gared Hassel, will join us now because he went aboard the Disney Wish recently. In fact, right behind Hurricane Ian, as it was sort of circling Florida, he went sort of behind it, I think, in which the cruise ship took that route, it seemed. At any rate, he is safe. He is back with us to talk about some of the best experiences on board the Disney Wish. Gared, tell us, first of all, Tell us how you're feeling coming out of the scathing, chaotic, nightmarish week of Hurricane Ian's aftermath. And on top of that, share with us some of the best experiences on the Disney Wish.
Can do it. Ahoy there, everyone. So, as Wade told you, I escaped the hurricane. Living in Florida, you live through a few hurricanes. And this one, I could tell you that when I was on Castaway Cay, I could actually see how powerful the storm was, because there was a storm that was going to hit the island and it got sucked away, I think, into the vortex of Ian. So, yeah, we were wondering, like, is the storm going to hit us? Is the hurricane going to hook this way? But it stayed on the western part of Florida. So, by the time we got back, we could already tell the crew was like getting ready for the hurricane. And, I have a family friend who went on the cruise immediately after mine, and they were told that their 4-day cruise would be extended to a 5-day cruise for the sake of getting clear out of the shot of any potential, like twists and turns that the hurricane could do. So very lucky to have avoided it because of, the power that Ian had. It was very hot, not only in Florida, but also on the boat, on the island, and in the Bahamas in general, because all the moisture was being sucked, all the cold air was being sucked into the hurricane, making it stronger and stronger, turning it into that, Cat 4, almost Cat 5 category. But so luckily safe and sound, and my heart goes out to all those affected by this hurricane. I know how hard it can be with dealing with, the extreme forces of nature, but on happy news, the Disney Wish is a very cool and fun and exciting ship. It has some things that could be improved upon. Disney Treasure, I'm looking at you. But for the most part, the Wish is a work of beauty and art, and it definitely utilizes modern technology and a lot of cool, like, I guess, Imagineering ability that Disney is known for, and they truly went all out with this ship. So to go over that, I'm gonna do my top 4 greatest experiences, and my number one choice is the Worlds of Marvel restaurant. This is a normal restaurant that happens in your dining rotation. So they have 1923 Arendelle as well as Worlds of Marvel, and Worlds of Marvel just takes dining on a cruise ship to a whole new level. It is so immersive when, like, you exit the elevator bay and you just see these hexagonal walls with murals of the Avengers, and then you're walking through there and you hear the Avengers music, da 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 da, and like it's just like pumped you up. You're like, let's get going for this adventure.
Oh
And
my
you
gosh,
walk
that
in,
sounds
it's
fun.
like,
Let me eat some chicken.
oh yeah, it really was cool. Walking in there, you're like, I feel like I'm a part of this. If you've done, the web slingers at California Adventure, yeah, this is way better than web slingers. Granted, there's food.
I bet it is,
and
honestly.
You're not doing that. But you go in and, the crew, they've got awesome costumes on. You sit down, and as you're sitting, they have like video montages going around the restaurant on different screens showing all the Avengers and their different accomplishments. Like you see Iron Man getting like suited up, like the helmet coming down, and him just going like full like bad A word mode. I don't know if I could say that.
just drop an ass.
Yeah.
Just say it. It's all good.
You've got all the Avengers going full badass mode on this thing, and it shows all the different ones. And it's not just the heroes; it also shows the villains. Like my favorite Marvel villain is Killmonger. I think I was rooting for him in Black Panther, honestly, and it shows him, just like getting all souped up and ready to go. And this is what shows like as you're putting in your order and all that. And then there are little cutaways where you'll have Ant-Man popping up, Paul Rudd doing his thing. And he's like, hi, everyone. I'm Ant-Man, and I'm the Wasp. And he's like, now, the first thing he says, spoilers, is like, so I know you're wondering with the whole Thanos thing, why I didn't, shrink down, go up inside and, expand. But it's a little bit more complicated. And it starts out, and then it cuts away. And the story of the restaurant is you're like, Ant-Man and the Wasp are on the Disney Wish because there is the Oceaneers Club has an Avengers section, and pretty much he's like doing like a little promo thing, and it shows a battle and a story going on around the ship, and you need to experience it. It's a lot of fun. It's very exciting, and it's funny. And at the end of the meal, you might just get to see one of your favorite superheroes come on down and wave at you, point at you. I will say one did like do the whole wink wink at me, and I felt pretty special in that moment. I don't think he did that for any other guest except for me.
Wow.
It was all you. Yeah, he's never done that for anyone before.
He was like, look at this golden goose.
Yeah.
No doubt.
But World of Marvel, awesome food, awesome environment. I wouldn't be surprised if they do something similar on the Treasure, or if they do a Star Wars equivalent version of it, because it really was a lot of fun, and it's so immersive, and there is interaction with the guests where like they need you to hit something to shrink and grow things. So boop, you press buttons and you are part of the story, even though like the story's happening around you, are a part of it as well. You're a hero at the end of the day, and Ant-Man tells you that.
Taking that dining to the next level. Very good.
It really is. It really is. If only they could do something like this, and Galaxy's Edge, like immersive storytelling.
If only, yeah.
But
If only.
yeah, but the second probably coolest experience is the pirate party. This happens on the top deck, on top of the ship, and I've like previous pirate parties are just like, hey, we're gonna like sing songs and all that, but this was like a full-on rock concert where you've got dancing, singing, acting on the deck, and it's like 80s inspired rock band music where they're doing Queen, they're throwing out I think some Pink Floyd, and just all these different fantastic bands, and they're rocking out, and they've got pirates, they've got fireworks. I didn't know you could have fireworks just on a ship deck. I thought it could only be shot off the side, but they do the the pyrotechnics and all that, and they're rocking out, jamming out, and then wouldn't you know it, everyone's favorite pirate, Long John Silver, the restaurant.
He's my favorite.
No,
He's also got great fish.
I like Captain Crunch myself.
Yeah, that's
He's a
good
Captain
one.
Crunch,
Yeah,
he's a good
yeah.
guy.
He's
I'm
been my
a Captain
favorite.
Morgan kind of guy myself, actually.
Let's go.
But Captain Jack Sparrow makes an appearance, and he is a part of the show. He's only there for 5 minutes, but he just captures the attention with his swagger and just like how he's the hero that everyone loves. Like you can't help but love Captain Jack Sparrow. Like he's the best. I don't know, one of the best characters ever. And yeah, the pirate party, it's loud, it's exciting, and there's a cannon on the deck, and I was like, I wonder what that cannon does. And at one point during the rock they hit like a note, boom, and they explode. And I actually jumped at this moment. I was like, what? Like it was just really, really immersive, and it's a huge deck. And because this is a bigger ship than all the other ones, the Dream, Fantasy, Magic, Wonder, the backdrop to the stage actually are these LED screens to where it actually helps immerse the guests in like, oh, we're actually on a pirate ship and all that. So they do
cool.
a solid
neat.
job of that. Yeah. So yeah, it was only a quick 3-day experience, and so trying to get everything in, it's exhausting. Like you're running around constantly trying to fill in as much as possible. But the third thing is going to be, I think everyone's going to love it, but it's going to be more for the adults, is the Hyperspace Lounge. This is the bar on the ship that is themed all around Star Wars. And this place had a sign out in front of it that actually said, for all guests, please 45 minutes or less inside so that all guests can experience this
45
attraction.
minutes.
Wow.
And
Limit.
yeah. Well, I remember because my girlfriend Ariel, she got to go on the Maiden when it first launched, and they had it where you had to, sign up in advance and no one could walk in. You couldn't even walk in. You had to get your reservation, and people were in there for hours and hours and hours. And so I would pop in from time to time just to see like, oh, what's the setting? Because when you enter the bar, you hit a button, it makes a sound effect as you walk in, like you're entering a Star Wars ship. And it's just like, when I entered, my eyes just opened up and I was like, this is so cool, because it's like Galaxy's Edge, only better, and it's 1/70th the scale in a bar setting, but it still is really cool because it's got the music going. They show all the different Star Wars sceneries where you've got Star Destroyers going forward, or you're looking at Mustafar, all these different planets. And I think one of the coolest and most, I guess, utilizing modern technology aspects is the menus aren't paper. They're actually data pads, iPads, that have the menu on them, and they have all the different effects where it's like, it's constantly moving like you would see a data pad in the Star Wars universe, where it talks about all the different drinks. And if you've ever looked at the menu, you might know that there is a $5,000 drink on there. And did I get it? Absolutely not, because I'm broke.
Oh, I
But
thought you did.
I thought you were a baller.
Yeah.
I
was
thought
looking
you were
forward
going to
to
go to
this.
George Lucas' place.
I do. I do ball out. I water polo, soccer ball, football. I ball out.
I also
But,
thought you were a
I-
foodie.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
But not a
Good thing
drinky.
these are,
Not a
I'm not a
drinky, I
drinky.
guess,
okay.
I'm not a drinky. I'm a foodie. I'm not a
It's
drinky.
different.
But they had a really cool menu. They had mocktails, and I guess during the day, children can go in there and hang out with mom and dad. But like once the sun's on Tatooine set, it's adults only in there, and it's a really cool environment. It's kind of small. Honestly, you could only probably fit around 40 people in there and really be comfortable. But it really is an immersive experience that you need to check out, because you feel like you're in the Star Wars movie. There was a guy actually dressed up like Darth Sidious, and he was like filming this video with his friends where he pressed the button and then the lightsaber turns on. And just watching that from behind, I was like, wow, that's really lame. That's what I was thinking.
We couldn't hear you when you whispered. What did you say? What were you whispering?
Sorry. I was whispering, man, that's really, really cool. I wish I could do that.
Oh, okay.
Because, well, like for like 2 minutes, he was trying to enter the door and do his thing, like with the lightsaber turning on as Darth Sidious, but it wasn't working. And so I was like, I really just want to go inside. But when he finally got it to work right, I was like, that's really, really cool. I need to do that. So next time I might have to bring my LARPing, my cosplaying outfit as
Like a good nerd.
A Wampa. Yeah, I'm gonna go in there and I'm gonna, do the whole Han Greedo thing where like,
Did you make a
Just shoot it.
reservation beforehand to go into the bar, or were you able to walk up?
No. That was just for the Maiden, because everyone was trying to go on it. Now that things have settled down and you have, families and groups of all shapes and sizes, you no longer need a reservation. You just show up, sit down, have a good time. You can sit at the bar, you can sit at a lounge chair or something, but you do not need a reservation.
Oh, that's great.
Perfect.
I get to go back on the Wish again on New Year's, so I'll be curious to see
Maybe
if for the
different.
holidays when things are a little bit more hectic, if they do require a reservation. But I'll be the one to report
Do you think
that.
it just sounds like they should have built this bar bigger? Like,
Yeah.
Did you feel that way too, with only like 40 people and it being so popular?
No, I thought it should be a lot bigger. I noticed on the Wish there are more bars on this ship than any of the other Disney ships I've been on. And I've been on every single one except for the Wonder. And there is actually a bar right next to the Hyperspace Lounge. It's called Nightingales, where they do like pianos and all that stuff.
Oh, fun.
And I thought, why not tear down Nightingales or just double up the size of, the Hyperspace Lounge and make it, have some aliens in there like you would see on the Galactic Star Cruiser, That seems like a good idea.
$5,000 to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So yeah, that's when the $5,000 comes into play. You want to hear music? $5,000, right there.
Big money.
But yeah, there were a lot of bars on there, but I think Hyperspace Lounge could have been a lot bigger. I thought it was really cool. I had an idea in my head where I'd be like, it'd be really cool if, like, Mando just walks in like he did in episode 1 of The Mandalorian.
That'd be neat.
Without someone getting caught in half or frozen in carbonite. Besides that, it would be a really cool experience. Or having, stormtroopers walk through, make it more immersive, but it's a bar setting, so that could get slippery and all that other stuff. And if guests get rowdy,
Good
you
point.
don't want them. Yeah. But Tyler, I agree. I think Hyperspace Lounge could have been a little bit bigger. I think it would have been a little bit more immersive. But overall, that was one of the coolest experiences I did. And there's a bar right outside of it too, called the Bayou. Like, it's 3 bars in one area. It is, I think, a little overkill. But
Is this in like the adult area though?
Yeah.
Because that's probably
they
why.
don't really
Because like all the ships
they
have
don't
that,
really
right?
have a set adult area on the boat. So I said some issues with the boat. I don't think the ship was designed as linear or straightforward as the other ships, where this is the adults area of the boat towards the back, or this is the kids towards the front. It's sort of all wrapped around each other, kind of like a maze, where you go one floor up, it's all shopping, but there's a bar in the shopping area. Or you go towards the front of the ship, there's an adults only section there, but kids can still walk in there because there's no real way of keeping kids out. I don't think the ship was designed as straightforward as it could have been, but lots of bars around there. And yeah, it's sort of the adult area. But so if you are walking into the Hyperspace Lounge, you walk out, there's a jewelry shop, there's another jewelry shop, and then there's the Walt Disney Theater. So if you are going to see a show, you have to walk past 3 to 4 bars along with some shopping before you even get to the theater.
Interesting.
Wow.
So
That's crazy.
That is
I don't-
kind of wild.
yeah, I would rather put it, towards the back of the boat.
I thought they were
going to
do like a
more,
blueprint of the other ones, kind of,
No. This one, they removed an entire elevator bay for this lounge called La Luna Lounge, which is like where adults can do Keno or bingo or like the adult only games. And it's built on 2 floors, which has never been done. And usually this is a singular lounge on the back of the boat. So design wise, I'm not a big fan of the boat. I got lost. On the other boats, after one day, I knew where everything was. This one, I was still turning corners. I'm like, I have no idea where I even am.
I've heard that from other folks
But-
that have been on the ship as well, that it feels like it's sort of a convoluted hallway mess, and
Yikes.
that you're constantly having to turn back basically and figure out where else you can take a route to get to where you need to be,
Not even a
because you
Holland
couldn't get-
America
Yeah,
ship. Jesus, those are the worst.
Yeah, it's not designed.
It's too bad.
How the parks are designed, which is a central area where you can get to any place with little to no knowledge. This one, you have to really Nancy drew your way around this place to figure out where you're going. But the fourth coolest thing about this ship is it's not any restaurant, it's not any sort of show. It is the Oceaneers Club. The kids center is dope as hell. So in order to get there, you can go.
So
one of
who
two
dropped
ways.
you off? Your parents dropped you off.
They
and
did.
then-
Yeah, I did get dropped off there, and they were like, "You're 29." I'm like, "No, I'm 9. The 20 is
I'm
just
this
some
many.
weird number there." Yeah, and so this area is built into sort of 4 little sections. You've got the it's a small world nursery, which is it's a nursery for the babies, and it's themed to It's a Small World. Then you have an area for I'd say the 4 to 5-year-olds around that range, which is pretty much they get to have their own Disney Cruise Line ship with like pictures of the characters, and they get to do all these interactive little toys and games. Then you get into the dope areas. Then you get into the area where it's an Imagineering lab, where you feel like you're an Imagineer, and I'm like, oh, yes, finally I can be an Imagineer. I don't need to take Calculus 2 to be an Imagineer. I can finally do it. And they have it where you can ride on a simulator of a really awesome version of Big Thunder Mountain. And like the TVs move and all that, and it felt really immersive. I was told to not keep hogging in, let the children ride it. And I was really sad.
Children.
They always
Yeah,
get in the way, don't
but-
they?
But then there are three other areas for sort of like the almost teenagers, like, the 9, 10, 11, 12. And that is, you've got a Star Wars area, which is similar to, Galaxy's Edge and that sort of thing, where you can interact, and apparently Star Wars character will come and meet and greet. Chewie wasn't there when I went there. I think he was too embarrassed to be around me because I'm embarrassing. But then they also have a sort of princess area that's where people can hang out, do story time, and just, live out their fairy tale fantasy. And then finally, at the very end is a zone that is all Avengers themed, where you're actually in an Avengers like test room. They've got this huge picture of all the Avengers, and this is where you can get suited up and do interactive games. Like you get to do the flingy thing like web slingers, but you get to just become an Avenger and play these interactive games. And at night, they actually have these sort of scavenger hunt type games where it's like, hey, we need your help to find X, Y, and Z. Come to the Avengers lab, and you go in there. You have to find these clues. And at the very end, the Black Panther himself showed up.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, I was nerding out, and like, I've worked for Disney, and I've seen characters show up, but there's something special about like when you see a superhero show up, you freak out a little bit. And he's like, thank you all so much. And he does like this whole like Wakanda thing where it's like hand down, boom, boom. And it's like Wakanda forever. And he does it with you. And you're like, I've been waiting my whole life to do that. It's one thing when you do it like through the TV screen. It's one thing when the king actually looks at you and all your fellow heroes and does that. And then he calls you a hero for saving the day.
Wow.
He pointed and winked at you, and then you lost it.
Just you.
I felt like I could take on all of Thanos' army, and I probably wouldn't survive, but I felt like I could take it on.
Well, I have a question. It sounds like you did a lot of the stuff that the kids get to do, and I know like on all the other ships, they'll have like a open house thing, and you can go and check out the kids areas like on the first day, like for an hour or so. Yeah. How did you get to do this Big Thunder Mountain thing and stuff like that? Because that sounds like something that I would love to do, like as an adult.
I did during the open house.
Oh, you did it during the open house. Okay,
yeah. So when we got on the boat, the first I think 3 or 4 hours are an open house. They don't start the kids club exclusively being children until the afternoon or evening. So I managed to run around and do the open house, but the actually meeting Black Panther and doing that scavenger hunt, that was at around 10 o'clock at night. It was sort of like a late night activity. So I think that adults can have some fun along with kids. Like there were kids there, but there are more adults than kids at this interactive experience with King T'Challa and all that. So there was a lot going on. If you have the app, you need to list what you want to do because there's a lot going on. And a 3-day cruise, you're going, whether that is eating, dining, swimming, going on the Aquamouse, which honestly doesn't live up to its hype. I wasn't a big fan of the Aquamouse, so I can talk about that another time. But yeah, so in short, again, top 4, Worlds of Marvel restaurant, awesome dining experience. The Pirate Party kicks so much butt and steals all that booty. The Hyperspace Lounge is a fun place to go and check out all your Star Wars dreams. Wish it was a little bit bigger. And the Kids Center, during the open house, I got to ride down the kids slide. And let me tell you, you think being 6'2" and being 200 something pounds, you'd slide down that thing really fast. No, I almost got caught up and stuck, and they almost had to get like a Disney plunger to get me out because they're like, Sir, you're going to cause a pileup. And yeah, that wouldn't work. But I got to go from the Grand Hall atrium, from the second floor, slide down to the first floor, and you're like there. And I'm like, this is a really cool way for kids to start their adventure. Like you slide into adventure, literally.
There should be more slides to get from one floor to another.
I want slides
everywhere.
Let's go.
Yeah.
I'm cool with slides. Like I would love a slide. Be like, listen, we got a 3:30 lunch here. We got a slide there. Let's do it.
Yep.
All the way from the top deck on 13 all the way down to 2.
I mean, those elevators, they get busy. Slide it.
No, the elevators, I think they designed them incorrectly because they'll have 2 elevator bays of 8 elevators apiece, and you will have on the elevators they'll say, oh, floors 1 to 11 and then 1 to 14. If you hit a button on the 1 to 11 side, it will work on all 4 of them. So if you're trying to get to the 14th floor and the 1 through 11 opens, you have to either take it up to 11, hop out, walk around, or you have to wait for it. And so
Oh, no, thank you.
That's a bummer.
it gets really confusing. And I've been to hotels before where they have elevators like this, where this is floors 1 through 11, this is 12 through 34, and they don't cross, circuits or whatever. One elevator bay of 4 works with certain buttons, the other ones work for another. So when you're waiting and you're like, I need to get to the 13th floor for a certain event or dinner, and it's like ding, 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 it causes a lot of congestion. It's really annoying, and I can't imagine it's that hard to be like, okay, these buttons work with these ones, these buttons work with this one, because not every guest is going to the same floor. Some guests want to go to floor 8, some guests want to go to 12 and above.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they don't have that little like thing that they have at Grand Destino and over at
and
Pixar
Paradise
Pier.
Pier,
yeah. Pixar. I said Pixar.
Well,
Whoops.
it will be.
It will be.
Anyway,
Place.
but like the little pad that you, so like before you enter in the elevator, you click what floor you're going to go on, and it'll tell you which bay to go to.
Yeah.
And then they should do that.
It's very efficient because it sends elevators specifically for your need. Like, I'm surprised they didn't do that on the Wish.
Missed opportunity.
Yeah,
Unfortunate design flaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are several design flaws. Like I know time is close, but there are pinch points where you'll have an elevator bay, Marketing Market, and then the Hero Zone, which is sort of instead of having an outdoor basketball court, it's all indoors. So that way, if there are storms, kids can still play basketball, ping pong, and
That's
it's a really
nice.
cool area because they even have blow-ups. But you have 3 areas all coming together into one. And if you were going to like a nice dinner or something, because that's in the same area too, and some sweaty or person in their swimsuit runs into you, that could start your night off on a very sour note. The nice restaurant of Palo and Enchante, very beautifully done. I think it's very elegant. It's in its own little private wing, but it's right next to the Hero Zone. But I guess that beats the basketball court being above it like it is on the other boats.
Wow. Well, hey, we appreciate all 4 great experiences that you have shared with us. We'll certainly talk to you more about your experience on the Disney Wish in future broadcasts, but I know that it is the new hotness. Everybody wants to be on that ship right now going out of Port Canaveral. We're grateful that you were able to share it with us.
Happy to help.
All right, my friends. Well, that about wraps things up for us here today. We want to thank you for being a part of the broadcast. As always, you can win your very own Kingdom Report mug by entering the phrase that pays underneath this video on our YouTube channel, directly following the live broadcast. Leave the phrase Mickey's Toontown. Mickey's Toontown is the phrase that pays this week. Enter yourself to win. You have between now and Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. Leave that comment. If you are the winner, we will follow up with you and let you know. And for everybody here at the Kingdom Report, we want to thank you for allowing us into your weekend, or if you're watching on demand later or listening beyond that, we want to thank you for taking time out to not only listen in, watch, but also for allowing us to be a part of your life just a little bit. And remember, the legacy of Walt Disney lives on because of people like you and me. We'll see you next time for another edition of Kingdom Report Live.
Hello? Hello? Hello?